Okay, fine. So today we are going to see yet another function that is provided by the operating system for inter-process communication. So we were actually seeing at the different functions that were provided by the operating system for performing this inter-process communication. And the processes തമ്മിലുള്ള communication അല്ലെങ്കിൽ between different processes, communication between different processes നമുക്ക് possible ആക്കി തരുന്നത് ഇങ്ങനെ കുറെ functions ആണ്. Like we started off with signals and semaphores. They were actually for the synchronization purpose, synchronization of processes. And then we have seen the pipe actually for message transmission between two processes. So from pipe onwards, we are actually going to see the different functions which provide us with inter-process communication. So the real data will be transferred between the processes in case of pipe and in the case of a few functions that we are going to deal with now. So the function that we are going to deal with right now is message queue. So this is particularly used for transfer of data between processes. A message queue is an inter-process communication mechanism which uses one second. Yeah, which uses an n byte memory block as queue. So here again, we will be having a memory block, and that will be used for the communication. I will help you with an example that will be better. Okay. So as I already mentioned, this is particularly used for communication between two processes, or in real-time operating system or in embedded system, we usually call this process as task. Real-time system, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ embedded system, നമ്മൾ ഈ പ്രോസസ്സിനെ task എന്നും പറയാറുണ്ട്. So you can either say that this is actually a communication between two tasks, or this is a communication between two process. അതിനുവേണ്ടി യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്ന ഒരു ഫംഗ്ഷൻ ആണ് message queue എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. You will be knowing about queue, അല്ലെ? Queue നിങ്ങൾക്ക് അറിയാം. When we are for buying some goods or something like that, or for buying some tickets, we'll be standing in a queue. So generally, that structure of message queue is also similar to that of a physical queue that you see, in roads. നമ്മൾ സാധാരണ കാണുന്ന ഒരു ക്യൂവിന്റെ അതേ സ്ട്രക്ചർ തന്നെയാണ് മെസ്സേജ് ക്യൂവിന്റെ കേസിൽ നോക്കുള്ളത്. So if I draw that, it will be like this. This is nothing but a memory buffer. This is again a memory space. So we'll be having So this is you consider this as a queue. That is, you are giving the data, or suppose a task, you are having two tasks. Consider you are having two tasks. So this is your task 1 and this is your task 2. Okay. So you need to have communication between these two tasks or these two processes. Okay. You need to have communication between these two tasks or processes. So what you do is you will perform the write operation, or you will write data into the tail end or back end of the queue. Okay, നമ്മൾ അങ്ങനെയാണല്ലോ നമ്മളൊരു ക്യൂവിലേക്ക് എങ്ങനെ എൻ്റർ ചെയ്യുക? We will not be going to the front of the queue, അല്ലെ? നമ്മൾ എപ്പോഴും ക്യൂവിന്റെ ബാക്ക് സൈഡിൽ കൂടെ എൻ്റർ ചെയ്തിട്ട് by the process of shifting we will reach the front. അല്ലേ? That is actually what is happening. നമ്മളൊരു ഫിസിക്കലി നമ്മൾ ടിക്കറ്റ് വാങ്ങാൻ നിൽക്കുന്നത് ക്യൂവിന്റെ ഫ്രണ്ടിൽ പോയി നിൽക്കുകയല്ല. We will be standing at the back, and when the people at front have got access to the ticket, or when they receive the ticket, they will be moved from the queue and we will reach the front. അങ്ങനെയാണ് ഒരു യൂഷ്വൽ ടിക്കറ്റ് ബൈയിങ് പ്രോസസ്സിൽ നടക്കുന്നത്. അതേ പ്രോസസ്സിൽ തന്നെ if you need to communicate with if you need to have a communication between 1 and 2, so 1 will actually write data to the back end, and it will consecutively write the data, and each time it write, this data will be shifted from this point to this point, and finally it will reach the front end or the head end, we will call it as. So for your understanding, let me mark this end as front. Can call this as a front end or head also. Q head, you can call it as Q head also, and sometimes you can call it as front also, front or head. So, and this end will be the back end, and this can also be called as the head angle. This will be the tail end. Okay, this end will be the tail end. So obviously the data that we are going to write, that is, we need to have communication between 1 and 2. That is, we need to send the data from task 1 to task 2. This is task 1, and you have the task 2. You need to send data from task 1 to task 2. That's actually your requirement. So always the writing of data will take place at the back end. The data will be written at the back end. Suppose while executing the task is actually the similar to process. That is the code segment which is under execution right now. So this is actually the task. This is actually your code segment for the task. Okay. After reaching this point of execution, you have reached. This is actually the code. This code in the point at the book. Suppose you reach this point of the code and you generate some data which are to be transferred or transmitted to the task 2. Task 2 ആ സമയം ആവശ്യമുള്ള ഡേറ്റയാണ് ടാസ്ക് 1 പെർഫോം ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ ഈ പോയിന്റിൽ എത്തുമ്പോൾ ടാസ്ക് 1 ജനറേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. Suppose like that. Task 1 generates a data that is actually required by task 2 at this point of its execution. Okay. So what happened? What should it do? It should actually write that data or write that information to the queue through the tail end of the queue or back end of the queue. So it will write the data over here. Okay. Then if the front end need to collect that data, or suppose the task 2 want to collect that data, it can use some functions like wait, some functions like accept and all for reading that data. And functions on task 2 ഇവിടെ നമ്മൾ മാർക്ക് ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്ന അല്ലെങ്കിൽ റൈറ്റ് ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്ന ഡേറ്റ റീഡ് ചെയ്യണമെങ്കിൽ it can use certain functions called the task wait or task pend or the accept, like that. Some functions are there that we will discuss later. But this is actually the process. This will be written here. Suppose if we are writing, if we need to send more data or more information, suppose 3 pieces of information, 3 data have to be transferred. So it will be transferred like this. The first one will be shifted to here, and then it will be shifted to here in that manner. So ആദ്യം നമ്മൾ enter in the data that will be available here, right? So this point is actually called the present head. Remember this term. This point is called head. And as per this message queue, this is actually the present head. Ippam data available aayittulla present head ennu parayunnathu this point. Okay, you should understand the difference between the present head and the head. This is actually the head of the message queue, and this point is actually the tail of the message queue, and this is at this point, this is actually the present head. So task 1 will write the data, and it will get shifted when subsequent data has come, and finally it will be read by the task 2 by using certain functions. So for writing this data and for reading this data by task 2, we definitely require certain functions. Like first of all, we need to create the message queue. We need to create the message queue initially. So there will be some functions required for that. What happens when a reading operation takes place? So while you are in a queue, physical queue once, what happens if you are standing in a queue for buying some tickets or something like that? A person who reaches the front, he will get the ticket and he will move out from the queue, right? So in a similar manner, when the message is being read, message front end, we will read that message, and that message will be deleted also, so that the other one can come to the front. Fine. So the message reading process is like read and then delete. Okay, that's the concept. Read and then delete the message, so that the the data lying in the next location can come to the front position. Okay, that is another point. So initially you need to create a queue. Then one more thing is there. So if we want to get the idea regarding the size of the queue, you need to get an idea regarding the size of the queue. So here if you are initializing with the back pointer or the tail pointer and the head pointer, if you are initializing the back pointer value and head pointer value, you can easily find out the size of the message queue, right? Here in this case, you can 6 data can be written, right? 6 blocks are there, so 6 data can be written. So if you are provided with the data including head end or head pointer and the back pointer, then that is enough for finding the size of the message queue, right? Head endum back endum you will be easily aware of the size of the message queue also. So that is another fact. So initialization means we will create the message queue providing details regarding the head pointer and the tail pointer. Queueന്റെ head pointer tail pointer define ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടാണ് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ initialize ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടാണ് we are creating a message queue. Okay, we have created with the help of some function. We will discuss the function later. We have created the message queue. Message queue നമ്മൾ create ചെയ്യുന്നത് this is purely for inter-process communication. We need communication between two tasks, or while execution of a particular task, you generate some data which is required by another task. So you can place that data in the message queue, and that will be read by task 2 or the other task. So that is actually what is happening here. And I have mentioned the 3 different terminologies that you need to aware of when we are discussing with the functions: head end, then back end, and the present head. Fine. Now we will discuss the function so that it will be better. We will have a better idea about this. So the first one is operating system queue create. So I have already mentioned that what you need to do initially is you need to create a queue. You need to create a queue initially. So for that, you will be using the function osqueue_create. So this is the function that is used for creating and initializing the queue. That is also important. Mere creation of queue is not enough. We need to initialize the queue with the head pointer as well as the tail pointer, so that you will be aware of the size of the queue. Fine. That is the initial process. And next, you will have another function, that is osqueue_post. Now you have created the queue. A particular task has to send data to another task. That is the operation that you need to perform with the help of this message queue. And the sender task can use the function, or this function can be used for sending a data from one task to the message queue. So this function is used to post or send a message to the message block. Message block data send or sending a message. For sending a message, we can use the osqueue_post function. Then osqueue_pend. This function is used to wait for a queue message at the queue. Remember, wait for a queue message at the queue and reads and deletes that when it is received. So this function is used to wait for a message, a queue message at the queue, and reads and deletes that when received, which does not mean anything else. Write it can be read only from this front or head end. That is, when if we want to read this message, enter the message. We have written the first message here, and we wrote it here, and it got shifted and it reached till here. Now, by using the function osqueue_pend, the message can be read only from the front end. That is, it will have to wait until this message reaches this point or the front end. If we are using osqueue_pend, we need to wait for the queue message till it reaches the head end, and then we will perform the read operation and delete that message. Clear or not? So if you are using either function use osqueue_pend use, that is generally like read from the head end only. You perform the read operation from the head end only. That is, this message has to reach here if we need to perform the read operation. We, in the sense, task 2 in a read operation perform, that should reach, this message should reach here. Then there should be some other messages. osqueue_accept. This function is used to delete the present queue head after checking its presence yes or no, and after deletion, the queue head pointer increments. This is nothing but, suppose your message has reached until this. This is actually your present head. If you are using OSQ pend, if you are using this function, you can read the message only when it reaches the thread head. Suppose you need to read, it's an urgent matter and you need to read it urgently. So you can use OSQ accept so that it will read the data from the present head. Okay, it will read the data from the present. ഇപ്പോഴത്തെ ഏതാണോ ഹെഡ്, ഇപ്പം ഡേറ്റ ഫിൽ ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്നത് വെച്ചിട്ട് ഏതാണോ ഹെഡ്, so it will read the data from that present head and it will then increment. Then the other will come to this place after deletion of this one. So if we need to read the data from the present head, we'll be using the function OSQ accept. If it is okay that we can wait until this one reaches here, then we can use OSQ pend. So OSQ pend is for reading with wait condition, and OSQ accept is reading without wait condition. Clear? Clear or no? Is that clear? Okay, fine. Then you have another function, that is OSQ flush. You will be aware of that term. What will be that? We will be reading the entire data present in this message queue. Message queue will all data full number read it and delete that. That is deleting everything after performing the read operation. That is what we call as flushing. So that is the function OSQ flush. This function is used for that purpose. This function is used to delete messages from the queue head to tail. After the flush, the queue head and tail points to queue top pointer. Queue top എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് it will be like queue head. Okay, queue head ഉം queue tail points ആണ്. ഇവിടെ അത് queue top ആയിട്ടാണ് യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ queue bottom ആയിട്ട് ചിലപ്പോൾ മാർക്ക് ചെയ്യാം. That doesn't matter. It will sometimes it will be called as top, sometimes it will be called as head or front. You don't bother about that. So here it is mentioned as queue top. This function is used to delete messages from the queue head to tail. That is, the entire messages will be read and get deleted. That is what the purpose of OSQ flush is for. Then two more are there. One is OSQ query. Suppose you need to get information, any information with regard to this message queue. If you need to get any information regarding the present queue head or regarding the head end, regarding the back end pointer, if you need to get idea regarding these informations of message queue in the എന്തെങ്കിലും specific information നമുക്ക് വേണമെങ്കിൽ you can use OSQ query. And yeah, OSQ query can be used for getting such messages related to the message block. And finally, you will be having OSQ post front. So you know about OSQ post. OSQ post എന്താണെന്ന് നമുക്കറിയാം. That OSQ post is for sending the message to the message queue or message block. If we need to send a message to another task, if task 1 needs to send a message to task 2, it will have to send its message to the message queue initially, and that is actually done by OSQ post. But if you are using OSQ post front, then what will be usually usually message is being posted or message is being entered to the queue through the back end. നമുക്കൊരു message ഇങ്ങോട്ട് സെൻഡ് ചെയ്യണമെങ്കിൽ we will be transmitting that to the back end and it will get shifted and move front. അതാണ് usually സംഭവിക്കുന്നത്. But that is what is happening when you use OSQ post. OSQ post നിങ്ങൾ യൂസ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ that is what actually happening. But if you are using OSQ post front, that is some sort of a high priority അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരു urgency ആവശ്യമുള്ള ഒരു ട്രാൻസ്ഫർ ആണെങ്കിൽ അങ്ങനെയുള്ള കേസിലാണ് നമ്മൾ OSQ post front യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. So in that case, that particular message will be returned to the front point. Okay. ഇപ്പം ഡേറ്റ ഫിൽ ആയിരിക്കുന്നത്, സപ്പോസ് ഇപ്പം നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ഈ 3 ഡേറ്റാസ് ആണ് ഫിൽ ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്നത്. Now you generated a data which require an immediate transfer. Okay, you are going to transfer an urgent or high priority data is to be transferred. So you can use the function OSQ post front so that particular data will be returned in this block. That is at the front. Front എന്ന് ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്നത് ഈ ഫ്രണ്ട് അല്ല, മെസ്സേജ് എവിടെ വരെയാണ് ഫിൽ ആയിരിക്കുന്നത് അതിന്റെ ഫ്രണ്ട്. Okay, ഒരു ഹൈ പ്രയോറിറ്റി ഡേറ്റ നമുക്ക് ട്രാൻസ്ഫർ ചെയ്യണമെങ്കിൽ if something has to be transferred which is of high priority or urgency, then you can use that function OSQ post front so that the data will be written over here. Clear? Suppose you need to make an immediate transfer. Immediate data transfer, which should be the functions. that should be used. Transfer in the sense you should write and you should read. Either രണ്ട് functions നിങ്ങൾക്ക് use ചെയ്താൽ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് immediate transfer possible. If there is a requirement of transferring urgent data or urgent information, which are the two functions in message queue that you will be using? ഏത് രണ്ട് ഫംഗ്ഷൻ നമുക്കിപ്പം പോസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്ത് മാത്രമേ ഉള്ളൂ. ഇനി റീഡ് ചെയ്യാൻ ഏത് ഫംഗ്ഷൻ യൂസ് ചെയ്യണം? If it is urgent, which are the two functions that should be used if you need an urgent transfer of data between the two tasks? Yes, you can use OSQ post front and OSQ accept. These two functions use either you can have an immediate transfer of data between the two tasks or two process. Clear? So that these are all the functions that are being used in the message queue concept. Yeah, here it's actually we are using queue head. OSQ post front. This function is used to send a message as per the queue front pointer queue head. Use of this function is made in the following situations: a message is urgent or is of high priority than all the previously posted messages. If there is a message which is to be transferred to the other task, and that particular message is of urgent kind of nature or high priority, then we can use this function OSQ post front. Subsequently, if we are using OSQ post front and OSQ accept, then that will be an immediate transfer or high priority transfer. Clear? And you should be specifically aware about the different functions that are being used. You can draw the figure if you want. Yeah, you can draw, that will be better so that you will get an idea. And queue will be obviously supporting which type of transfer. Transfer in the sense the FIFO kind of transfer is there. First in, first out. If we are actually entering the data through the back end or the tail end, and that will be the first data that will be coming out of the queue also. First in, first out concept message queue will follow. Similar to that as the pipe. So this is yet another type of IPC function that is provided by operating systems. So far we have learned about, specifically for message transfer, we have learned about the pipes and now the message queue. And there is another concept which is pretty much related to the message queue itself. Message queue are related in the concept. That is actually mailbox. If you have completed with this figure, we can do. Task confused out there. This is just inter-process communication. Embedded system in the case like we are calling or mentioning it as task. So each particular process will be for a specific task. So you just think about one more thing. This particular message queue, it is not essential that the task one only can send data to this. It's not like that. Okay, we'll be having in a process, we'll be having many tasks. So it doesn't mean that a task one and task two immediately message queue and you'll be having plenty of tasks. Like you'll be having many other tasks also within that program itself. So they can also use this message queue. It's not necessary that this is created for task one and task two particular. Okay, shall we move on? Okay, so remember the functions. We started with create for creating the message queue and initializing the message queue. Then we dealt with post, OSQ post, which was for sending the message to the queue. First, initially, the message has to be sent to the queue. For that, we will be using OSQ post. Then OSQ pend. OSQ pend was actually for reading from the message queue, but from the head end only. Head end in the matham read and OSQ pend using that is a kind of read with wait condition. Then other was OSQ accept, that was for reading from the present head. Then there was OSQ flush, that was for reading the entire data from the tail end to the head end and then deleting that. Read and delete that. Then OSQ query for getting information from the message queue. Then finally OSQ post front. It's for posting or sending the data to the head, the present head. Yeah, next after the present head. And these are all the different functions that we have been using in message queues. Now we can move to the next. Yeah, this is another concept. This mailbox. This is also another IPC function. This is also using a message queue kind of operation. Message queue in the other operation, except that here we'll be mailbox. I mean, letterbox in letterbox usually we'll be having a letterbox. We'll be writing the letter and we'll be posting that in the letterbox, right? But along with that, if we simply do that, if we simply write a letter and post that in the mailbox, it won't reach the destination. For that, we need to specify some of things, right? We need to specify the destination address. So a similar kind of approach that we can see in the mailbox also. So if you need to transfer some data to a particular task, you will have to transfer that data along with the destination address. Okay. So mailbox is an IPC through a message block at an OS that can be used only by a single destined task. Okay. So the message that you send through a mailbox is specifically for a particular task. So message queue message queue does not have that kind of an operation. That can be that message or data can be run by any task or any process on the other side. But here we are completely directing it to a particular destination. Even though the other task can also perform the read operation, but that data can be read only by the task for which it is being destined to. നമ്മൾ മെയിൽ ബോക്സ് നമ്മൾ ആ ലെറ്റർ ആർക്കാണോ അയച്ചിരിക്കുന്നത് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ആ ഒരു ഡേറ്റ ആർക്കാണോ ഏത് ടാസ്കിലേക്കാണോ സെൻഡ് ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്നത് ആ അഡ്രസ് ആ ടാസ്കിന്റെ അഡ്രസ് അല്ല ഐ ഡി കൂടെ വെച്ചിട്ടായിരിക്കും നമ്മൾ സെൻഡ് ചെയ്യുക. സോ ദാറ്റ് only that particular task will be able to read the message from that. So that is the kind of concept that we use in mailbox. You have the functions pretty much similar to that of queue itself. Mailbox and queue somewhat similar ആയതുകൊണ്ട് ഒന്ന് പഠിച്ചാൽ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് മറ്റേത് എഴുതാൻ പറ്റും. കാരണം functions are almost similar to each other. So if you are using a mailbox kind of IPC function for inter-process communication or inter-task communication, whatever it be. So you are having an application program. You're having a program, and that program consists of several tasks. So you need to transfer some piece of information from task 1 to task 4. So there is a common mailbox that is available for this process. That is, we have created a mailbox by using some functions. Always provided in the function, you see that we have created a mailbox, and the data that is to be transferred can be written to this mailbox along with the source and destination. That's the difference. We are not just merely writing the data. We are also providing the source as well as the destination. So as far as this particular case is concerned, the task ID of task 1 along with the task ID of task 4 will also be provided in the data, along with the data. So similar to that of a message queue concept. Message queue mailbox, but we are providing the data which is consisting of, which is including the source and destination address also. And that's the difference. So message queue, we are actually entering the data through the back end and we'll be reading it out from the front end. All those processes are similar to that of message queue. No much differences are there. The difference is that we will be providing the address information also along with the data, so that this particular piece of information can be read only by the destination task data read. So that is actually the mailbox concept, and we'll be having some functions also for that. Yes, similar to that of queue, message queue. So OSM, that is mailbox create, OSM box create, which creates a box and initializes the mailbox contents with null pointer. Then OSM box post sends or write a message to the box, similar to that of OSQ post. Then OSM box wait, that is waits for a message which is read when received. Because queue in other structure, it will have to wait until the message reaches the front end. If this is the back end, if you are providing the data over here, if you are using the function OSM box wait, then it will have to wait. That is, the receiver has to wait until the message reaches the front end. Okay. Then if you are using OSM box accept, that reads the current message pointer after checking the presence, yes or no. Deletes the mailbox when read. If that is for immediate access. OSQ accept for immediate access, we will be using the accept function. So that is for taking the message or reading the message from the present or current head. Then OSM box query, that is for queries regarding the mailbox. That is, if any information regarding the mailbox, regarding its specification is required, then you can perform or you can use the function called OSM box query. That is, if you need to be aware of the present head, the present head, what is the size of that mbox, mailbox. If any information of that sort is required, then you can use this function, OSM box query. So these two are pretty much similar, except that in that terminology, what's the difference on message queue, mbox same, except that in message, in mailbox, we'll be providing the source and destination address also, so that the data can be read only by the destined task. Okay, that's the only difference that you can see. You can note the functions. Have you noted this? Yeah. Okay. Then an immediate requirement, you can note this question. It is regarding semaphore. Semaphore, we have to do one more problem. You can note this and tell me the answer if you know that. This is also asked for a particular competitive examination, like I think some ISR examination. This question was asked. At a particular time of, this is not related to message queue and mailbox, completely related to semaphore, that is especially counting semaphore. At a particular time of computation, the value of a counting semaphore is 7. That is, at a particular time of computation, the value of counting semaphore is 7. That is, S value at this point of time is 7. Then we are performing 20 P operations, that is down operations, P or down operation or wait operation. 20 P operations and X V operations were completed on the semaphore. If the new value of semaphore is 5, what is the value of X? That's the question. At this point of time, the value of counting semaphore is 7. Then we are performing 20 P operations and X V operations on that. And you got the new value of semaphore as 5. What is the value of X? That is, how many V operations have you performed? What is the number of V operations that you have performed for getting value 5? Those who have got the answer can tell the answer. How will you do that? What is the initial value? 7 is the initial value of anybody with the answer? Okay, you can mark your attendance. So answer of that question is 18. 18 ആണോ കിട്ടിയത് നിങ്ങൾക്ക്? Fine.